morning, shoreliners. For today's video, we are going to talk about Newton's law of motion. Newton's law relates the forces of objects on each other and relate any change in the motion of an object to the force that acts on it. There are three Newton's law of motion, namely the law of inertia, the law of force and acceleration, and the law of action and reaction. But for this time, let us focus on Newton's first law of motion, the law of inertia. Have you ever wondered if a ball kicked on the ground would keep moving forever, or after some time, would it naturally stop moving? Most people thought that the ball would eventually stop on its own. However, the ball will continue to move unless an object or force stops it. Here comes Newton's first law. A body remains in a state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless and until an unbalanced external force acts on it. To understand Newton's first law, you need to understand what unbalanced force is. If you have seen a game of tug of war, you would have seen two teams pulling a rope in opposite directions. If the rope doesn't move, the forces applied by the teams are balanced forces as they are of equal magnitude and on opposite directions. If one of the teams applies greater force, it pulls the other team and the rope towards their sides. In this case, the forces are unbalanced as the two forces are of an equal magnitude and in the opposite directions. If one of the team lets go of the rope, the opposite team falls backward. This tendency to fall backward despite letting go of the rope is due to inertia. Inertia. That is, if an object is at rest, it tends to remain at rest, and if it is in motion, it tends to stay in motion. Again, this property is what we call inertia. Inertia is the resistance of an object that has to a change in its state of motion. Inertia can be classified into three categories, which are the inertia of rest, inertia of direction, and inertia of motion. Certain experiences that we have while traveling in a bus can be explained on the basis of the law of inertia. When a passenger is standing in a stationary bus that suddenly moves, the movement pushes the passenger backward. Why does this happen? This is due to the inertia of the rest experienced by the passenger in the upper part of his body. The body is at rest when the bus is at rest. But when the bus starts, all of a sudden, the lower part of the body is in contact with the vehicle that starts moving, whereas the upper body continues to be at rest because of inertia of rest. Inertia of rest is the tendency of the body to resist any change in its state of rest. Then what would happen when the fast-moving bus negotiates a right-hand curve on the road? The passenger will tilt to the right. This is due to the inertia of direction. Inertia of direction is the tendency of the body to oppose any change in the direction of its motion. With the application of the sharp brakes, the bus stops all of a sudden and the passenger tends to pull forward. This is due to the motion experienced by the upper part of the body. When the bus is moving, the whole body of the passenger is in a state of motion. However, the upper portion of his body remains in the state of motion. It is due to the inertia of motion causing the passenger to fall forward when the bus stops suddenly. Inertia of motion is the tendency of the body to resist any change in its state of uniform motion. Again, knowledge is power, and as we go along with this lesson, let us be guided that this saying can be made possible as we put into practice the things that we have learned. Till next time, bye-bye!